Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we wanted to look at Naimisharanya. So we will seek the blessings of Radha Mother, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Gonita, Chilapavad, Guru Maharaj, and the assembly devotees. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for joining. So continuing with the holy places around Bharat, Naimisharanya is a very powerful place. Northern Bharat. It's also known as Nimsar, is the Aranya Swarup or forest manifestation of Lord Vishnu, and is therefore a most sacred tirth. Naimish also refers to Vishnu's name, Amish, Animish, and Naimish Kshetra refers to the abode of Lord Vishnu. Naimisharanya existed at the onset of the universe, and in Satya Yuga, it was the first ever pilgrimage site manifested on the planet Earth. Sutta Goswami recited Srimad Bhagavatam to 88,000 sages assembled there. At the juncture of Dwapar Yuga and current Kali Yuga, 88,000 sages, headed by Shaunak Rishi, wanted to perform a sacrifice to hold off the effects of the oncoming Kali Yuga. They approached Lord Brahma and pleaded where they could perform a sacrifice that would counteract the influence of Kali and have the greatest effect. Brahma told them, I will send a disc, follow it, and perform your sacrifice where it hits the earth. The disc or chakra that Brahma sent went spinning down, sped towards the Garhodak ocean, and passed through the 6 planetary systems. It finally struck the earth at Chakratirtha, here at Naimisharanya. On seeing that the disk was approaching earth at tremendous speed, the sages became worried, thought it would strike the water and the splash would drown the earth. So they prayed to Goddess Durga, the controller of the material energy. She stopped the disk from going any further. This pastime explains why the lake at Chakratirtha is bottomless. In the 19th century, to discredit this claim and prove that this is mythology, the British government sent a chain down into the lake to find the bottom. After reaching 1.5 miles, they gave up. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, text number 4. In the holy place in the forest of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by the sage Shaunak assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. In the Vayu Viva Tantra, it is said that Brahma, the engineer of this particular universe, contemplated a great wheel which could enclose the universe. The hub of this great circle was fixed at a particular place known as Naimisharanya. Similarly, there's another reference to the forest of Naimisharanya in the Varaha Purana, where it is stated that by performance of sacrifice at this place, the strength of demoniac people is curtailed. Thus, Brahmins prefer Naimisharanya for such sacrificial performances. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1 describes that Sutta Goswami recited Srimad Bhagavatam to the assembly of great sages at Naimisharanya. This place is marked by a spot called Sutta Gadi. Sutta Gadi temple is on a small, beautiful hillock and a short walk from Chakratirtha. Shri Radha Krishna and Lord Balaram are the presiding deities at the main. Shri Sutta Goswami deities on the left side of the main deities. Chakratirtha is situated at the center of Naimisharanya. This is the exact spot where the wheel sent by Brahma landed on the earth. At Chakratirtha, there is a huge wheel surrounding the bottomless lake. Many devotees take a holy dip and perform the circumambulation, parikram, by encircling outside the huge wheel. Around the lake, there are important ancient temples dedicated to Lord Ram, Lord Badrinath, Lord Shiva. Near the entrance of Chakratirtha, there is a painting of sages headed by Shonak Rishi, praying to Lord Brahma. The atmosphere at Chakratirtha is devotional and captivating. On festival days, a huge number of pilgrims who visit this place. Naimisharanya is situated on the banks of the river Gomati in the Sitapur district of Uttar Pradesh. It is an easy 2-hour drive from Lucknow, the state capital. This district is named after Sita, as she stayed with Lord Ram at this place during a pilgrimage. Afterwards, King Vikramaditya established this city in the memory of Sita and gave this place the name Sitapur. Lord Ramachandra performed the 10th Ashwamedh Yajna at Naimisharanya after returning from exile, as mentioned in the Ramayana. This place is marked by the ancient Sri Ram Lakshman Sita temple, known as Siddheshwar Mahadev Mandir. The temple has beautiful deities of Sri Sitaram Lakshman. Vyasa Gadi is one of the most important sacred spots in Naimisharanya. Here Vyasadeva bifurcated or spoke or gave out the Vedas into 6 Shastras, 18 Puranas. Here at Vyasagadi, known as Vyasapatika or Vyasdham, Vedvyas lectured on the Bhagavad Puran, Srimad Bhagavatam, to his own son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami. At the center of the main altar at Vyasagadi temple, there is a deity of Srila Vyasadeva. On the right side, there is a deity of Srila Sukadeva Goswami. In the left altar is Vyasadeva's father, Parasar Muni. Outside the Vyasagadi temple, there is an ancient 5,100-year-old banyan tree. That's old. Manu Shatrupa Tapasthala is located directly opposite Vyasagadi. At this place, Swayambhu Manu and his wife Satarupa performed rigorous austerities for thousands of years. Naimisharanya at that time was a dense forest. It was a famous place for gaining siddhi or concrete achievement in spiritual life. Inside the temple, there are deities of Sri Sitaram. On their side are Swayambhu Manu and Satarup. Outside the main altar, there are deities of Swayambhu Manu and Satarup performing austerities. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, describes Swayambhu Manu begot 3 daughters in his wife, Satarup, and their names are Kuti, Devhuti, and Prasuti. Priyavat and Uttampad were their sons. Devhuti got married to Kadamuni, and their son was Lord Kapil. The Dichi Kund and the Dichi Muni's residence is at Mishrik, 10 kilometers from Naimisharanya. Here, the great sage Dadichi gave up his body to Indra so that he could kill Vrittasura, as described in Canto 6, Srimad Bhagavatam. Inside the Dichi's residence, there is an exact spot where he sacrificed his bones. There are also shrines dedicated to his father and mother. There's also a beautiful garden which has a rare Parijat tree. After Indra obtained the body of Dadichi, a thunderbolt was prepared from Dadichi's bones. The fight took place between Vrittasura and the demigods at the end of Satyug and the beginning of Tretyug. Sitakund also known as Janaki Kund, is a short distance from the Dadichi Kund. At this place, Sita Devi took bath. In another pastime about Naimisharanya, the Ramayana relates that Ravan once captured Ram and Lakshman, kept them in Patalok at the bottom of the universe, but their servant Hanuman rescued them. He took them on his shoulders, sped up through the lower planetary systems, and came back to the earth at Naimisharanya. So in Naimisharanya, at a place called Hanuman Garhi, there is an 18-foot tall, self-manifested Hanuman deity standing with Lord Ram on one shoulder and Lakshman on the other. When devotees come to take darshan, they offer ladus to Hanumanji. Hanuman Garhi at Naimisharanya is one of the most beautiful places in the earth. So, 10th canto, Bhagavatam, chapter 79, describes Lord Balaram's visit to Naimisharanya and the liberation of the demon Balaval. At the sacrificial arena of the sages at Naimisharanya forest, a harsh wind began to blow on the new moon day, spreading the obnoxious smell of pus, and obscuring everything with dust. The demon Balavala then appeared there with a trident in his hand, his massive body pitch black and face very frightening. Lord Balaram caught the demon with his plough and struck him a ferocious blow on the head with his club, killing him. The sages chanted Lord Baladev's glories and presented him with lavish gifts. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, 79, verse 30, describes that sometimes later, Lord Balaram again went to Naimisharanya. Lord Balaram returned to Naimisharanya, where the sages joyfully engaged him, the embodiment of all sacrifice, in performing various kinds of Vedic sacrifice. Lord Balaram was now retired from warfare. Pandavas visited Naimisharanya during their exile. Their exile is close to Hanuman Garhi temple. Their residence, is close. Here we can have the darshans of Lord Krishna, Queen Kunti, and the 5 Pandavas, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Sahadeva. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur visited Naimisharanya, and the Mutt was established by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada in 1925. Shri Gaura Gauranga, Radha Vinod, Vilas Ju are the presiding deities of the temple. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta generally opened temples in cities where the people are, but he also opened several temples in places of spiritual importance, even though not very populated. There is a following account in the Ray of Vishnu. Srila Saraswati Thakur also went to Badri Narayan, the site of the first Srimad Bhagavatam recitation, to Shukratal, the site of the second recitation of the Bhagavatam, and to Naimisharanya, the site of Bhagavatam's third recitation. The recitation, and he preached the glories of these places. So interesting. Badrinath, first Bhagavatam was spoken there. Yeah, because Vyasdev dictated it to Ganesh. Shukratal, where he spoke, or Shukadev Goswami spoke it to Parikshit Maharaj. And then Naimisharanya, where Sutta Goswami spoke to the 88,000 sages. The holy Dham of Naimisharanya encompasses a significant area of land, covering a radius of 130 kilometers. Lord Nityananda, Sripad Ramanujacharya, Sankaracharya, and many greatly saintly persons have visited Naimisharanya Dham. The followers of Sripad Ramanujacharya Sampradaya count Naimisharanya amongst 108 Divya Desam Kshetras. This glorious forest of Naimisharanya embodies for us the glories of Bhagavatam. The name Naimisharanya is related to the name Naimi, referring to the chakra released by Brahma that split the earth open. It is also associated with the sage Gautamukh, who incinerated an asura to ashes here. Varaha Purana states that Lord Vishnu once destroyed an entire army of asuras in 1 second at Naimisharanya with his chakra. Nimish means an instant and refers to the place Naimisharanya forest where this pastime took place. At the present, most of the temples and holy shrines in Naimisharanya are being well developed and maintained. Signage posts to visit these holy places are marked clearly. Indeed, it is worth visiting the most important ancient Sri Naimisharanya Dham. Sri Ayodhya Dham is close by, only a 2-hour drive from Lucknow. So this is the entrance to the Chakratirtha, which is the center of Naimisharanya, where the chakra fell. So we read about this, how the sages prayed to Lord Brahma to stop the chakra from destroying or flooding the earth. And this is the ancient temple of Sitaram and Lakshman. This is a temple, ancient temple of Badrinath. Lord Shiva. Chakratirtha is situated at the center of Naimisharanya. So this is exact spot where the wheel sent by Brahma landed on the earth. At the main entrance of Chakratirtha, there is a huge gate. Just as one enters, there's a painting of sages headed by Shonak Rishi praying to Lord Brahma. At Chakratirtha, there's a huge wheel surrounding the bottomless lake. So like it said earlier, the British tried to disprove this bottomless lake. They sent something down there, but they abandoned it after it reached 1.5 miles down. That's huge. Many devotees take a holy dip and perform circumambulation of parikram by encircling outside the huge wheel. Around the lake, there are important ancient temples. Yes, Pavan.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I almost forgot about the satsang. A friend was chatting with me, and then I realized it's 4 o'clock. So I've just joined. I've just joined now. Okay. I'll do it later on. You know, here it said at the Chakratirtha, there is a huge wheel surrounding the bottomless lake. What does that mean?
There's a lake there which has no bottom. And when the British came, they tried to disprove that. They tried to say this is mythology. So they put something, I can't remember what now.
Yeah.
And it went down 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
And it could still carry on going down. So the British abandoned the idea. So it is a bottomless lake. The water just goes all the way down.
Yeah.
And nobody's on the bottom.
Yeah, if somebody like drawn, then we can't take him out. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said there is a huge wheel surrounding, so they must have put the wheel around the lake, so nobody can go inside the lake.
No, I think you can take a dip in there. It's okay. But this wheel was a chakra which was sent by Brahma. And he sent it because the sages asked him, where shall we do a sacrifice? We want to stop this Kali Yuga from starting. So he said, okay, I'll send a chakra. Where the chakra stops, you do your sacrifice. So the chakra stopped here at Naimisharanya, at this Chakra Tirtha. And that's where they did this 1,000-year sacrifice. 88,000 sages. Yeah, really, really quite amazing. Really quite amazing.
Yeah, I can understand now. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare
So
Krishna.
Prabhu, you said they did that to stop Kali Yuga, but then what happened? It was successful.
It stopped Kali Yuga from coming in for 1,000 years. That's correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
So where's the wheel that Lord Brahma said? Can you see it? No.
I've actually not been there, so I'm not too sure. But it's there. It's there. The wheel is
so
there.
If it's around the lake, that means it's around it. It goes around.
Yeah.
Then the lake is in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, around the lake, there are important ancient temples dedicated to Lord Ram, Lord Badrinath, and Lord Shiva. The atmosphere at Chakratirtha is devotional and captivating. On festival days, a huge number of pilgrims visit the place. At the juncture of Dwapar Yuga and present Kali Yuga, so this, I think we've been through this, haven't we? Yeah, we just talked about that. So this is one of the temples, Sri Sutta Gadi temple. So Sutta Goswami, he led the 88,000 sages in this sacrifice by speaking the Bhagavatam. This is the Shri Radha Krishna altar. Balaram is there. And it looks like Vyas there on this side. Oh no, Sutta Goswami. So that's Sutta Goswami, yeah. Yeah, because that's his temple. And this is the sages at Naimisharanya. Sutta Goswami speaking to the 88,000 sages. Vyas Gadi. So this is the temple at Vyas Gadi. The center of the main altar, there is deity of Vyas there. Hard to make out actually. On the right side, there's the deity of Sukadeva, and the left side is Parasar Muni, the father. Aha, that's better. There you go. Vyasdev, Ganpati, Sukadeva Goswami, and Parasar Muni, father of Vyasdev. Vyasdev with Bhagavatam. This is the Gomati we were talking about, the river flowing just behind Vyas Gadi. That's this huge banyan tree, 5,100 years old. Looks big. So we've been through that.
Sorry, Prabhu, that tree, can we go? Did you say 5,099 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Have you been there?
No, we haven't been to Naimisharanya.
Okay. Very nice.
One of the places to go.
Prabhuji, can I ask something else, please?
Sure.
Banyan in the Gujarati, what it is? Is it a word? Word.
Yes. Yeah.
Word. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dadichi Kund, we talked about, entrance to Dadichi Muni's ashram. The deities are worshipped there. Looks like Narayan, right? Dadichi father, Tharwa. Exact spot where Dadichi Muni donated his bones in order to defeat Vatsasura. He donated them to Indra, and there's Indra there. Parijata tree at the Chichi Ashram. This is a very famous tree, very rare tree. Grows in the heavens. And this is Indra killing Vrittasura. Vrittasura was, of course, a great devotee, but he'd taken the form of Asura. And Indra had to suffer after killing him. Done that, yeah, done all of that. This is the Dishikund.
No.
Oh, Sita Kund. Yeah. That's right. We read the first time. You had it in there. Yeah. Oh, yes. And there's Hanuman with Ram and Lakshman on his shoulders. Wow. It's a nice picture of Krishna, deity of Krishna. And the Pandavas. So we talked about the Pandavas' residence. This is must be quite new at that. So very interesting. We didn't talk about this. So Ram's Ashwamedh Yagyasthala. I haven't talked about that in the presentation. Sitaram, Lakshman.
You read that?
I think this one. No, go on.
Okay. So Lord Ramchandra performed the 10th Ashwamedh Yagya named Sharanya after returning from exile, as mentioned in the Ramayana. This place is marked by the ancient Sri Ram Lakshman Sita temple, also known as Siddheshwar Mahadev Mandir. The temple is beautiful deity of Sri Sitaram Lakshman, and on the side of the temple is the famous Dashwamedh Ghat.
Hey. Paramahamsa Gaudiya Math. This is one of the few mats that are he established in like holy places, not in big towns. That's the deities worship there. Gauranga. Guru Gauranga, Radha Vinod Vilas.
Radha Krishna.
Than that. Manu Sutra Tapastal. Oh yeah, then we talked about Swayambhu, Manu, and Shatrugna. This is the austerity that they were performing, or she was. This one. No, go on, you can say that one.
So the Manu Shatrugna Tapastal is located right opposite the Vyasgadi. At this place, Swayambhu Manu and his wife Shatrugna performed rigorous austerities for 23,000 years. Mentioned, at that time was a dense forest and was a famous place for gaining siddhi, or concrete achievement in spiritual life. Inside the temple, there are deities of Sri Sitaram. On their side are Swayambhu Manu and Shatrugna. And outside the main altar, there are deities of Swayambhu Manu and Shatrugna perform the austerities. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1 describes Swayambhu Manu, who begot 3 daughters and his wife Shatrugna. The names are Akuti, Devhuti, and Pasuti. And they also had sons, Priyavrat and Uttanpad. Devhuti got married to Kadama Muni, and their son was Lord Kapil. This is incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva once explained to Parvati the reason for 3 primary manifestations of Lord Ramachandra. The second of these reasons is connected to penance performed by Manu and Shatrugna here at Naimsharanya. Although living a royal life, Swayambhu Manu also lived like a sage for prolonged periods. At one point, he became frustrated by worldly matters. He handed rule of his empire over to his son. Taking his wife Shatrugna, he went to Naimsharanya to take a residence in a hermitage. In the hermitage, the couple led a very strict life, taking only fruits and roots as foodstuffs. Soon, however, they began to accept only water and fell into deep meditation. So they did this for 23,000 years. The great desire was to have a vision of the Supreme Lord, who is the source of infinite pleasure, and from whom inconceivable incarnation the expansions emanate over the course of the kalpas. They ceased taking water and began to live on air alone. Next, the couple entered an even more stringent program for austerity, seizing all breath, standing on one leg and taking no air. During this time, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva visited them several times, offering them boons to refrain from such extreme austerities, but nothing could deviate them from their meditation. The bodies had simply become skeletons. Eventually, the Supreme Lord directly intervened, and both Manu and Satrupa heard a great voice from the skies. Sound vibration restored their skeletal bodies. They again became healthy and beautiful figures, appearing as fresh as if they had just arrived from the royal palace. In this state, they entered into a fathomless ocean of love for Lord Hari. Both prayed to get darshan of the Lord. Thus, the Supreme Personality, the devotee lover, treasure house of bliss, the omnipresent and almighty Lord, appeared before the praying couple. His hue was greater than the azure skies and blue hills. His face was like the full autumn moon. His throat decorated with 3 lines like a conch. His eyes were like freshly blossomed lotus petals. His ears were ornamented with makara kundal. He had a jewel crown on his head, and his chest bore a beautiful footmark. Jeweled garlands covered his neck and chest. He was dressed in yellow sapphire. His bow and arrow were in his hands and on an arrow bag behind his waist. On his left was Janaki. So this is Lord Ramachandra. Both Manu and Satrupa were content, and they stared without blinking at the beautiful form of the Lord. They lost their own bodily senses. Falling at the feet of the Supreme, Manu prayed to get a son like him. This wish was granted by the Supreme Lord, who assured the couple that he would take birth as a son in some future kalpa. Janaki would also take birth along with the Lord. Thus, by Krishna's arrangement, Manu would become the king of Ayodhya, and Ram would take birth as his son. So basically, Manu became Dashrath. The Lord promised it 3 times, then disappeared. Afterwards, Manu and Satrupa lived for a few days more in the hermitage on the bank of the sacred Gomti before taking the last breath.
There's not much left.
Now, this is Sri Lalita Devi temple. As described above, seeing that Lord Brahma's chakra was approaching the earth at tremendous speed, the sages became worried and thought that it would strike the water and splash, and it would drown the whole earth. So they prayed to Goddess Durga, the controller of material energy. A manifestation of Durga, Sri Lalita Devi, appeared as named Sharanya to stop the disc from going further. The water gushed from the earth where the chakra landed, and Adi Sankaracharya established the temple of Sri Lalita Devi there. So there's we don't have a picture of this. There's a Gokarnath temple named Sharanya. It's a representation of the original gold Gokarnath, located 110 kilometers from Naimisharanya in northern Uttar Pradesh, near the Nepal border. During the Great War of Ramayana Yuga, Ravan pleased Lord Shiva with his penance so he could win the war against Lord Ram. Lord Shiva took the shape of a Shivling and directed him to install it in Sri Lanka. But Lord Shiva proposed the condition that Shivling should not be put on the ground on its way to Lanka. But on the way back, Ravan had to give the Shivling to a shepherd to attend nature's call. Lord Shiva increased the weight of the Shivling, so the shepherd had to give it up and put it on the ground. This made Ravan very angry, as he understood the trickery of Lord Shiva. Ravan realized that Lord Shiva did not want the ling to be carried to Lanka and let Ravan win the war. Enraged, Ravan pressed the ling with his thumb, resulting in the impression it looked like the cow's ear, a Gokarna. It is on this basis that the place was called Gokarnath. Apart from the main shrine, there are several small temples and holy water places. In the main temple, there is a round stone in a well 4 feet below the ground, like a ling of phallus. Nearby, there's a Gajmochan lake, which is worth a visit. And then this is a Hanumat Dham. It's 104-foot tall Murti of Hanumanji. So this is
self-manifested, I think it says. So,
is it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is about 125 kilometers from Naimsharanya in Shahjahanpur, and it's famous for the size. Many devotees come and take darshan, and the holy site is at Vishrar Ghat on the banks of the Konat River. And then lastly, we have Shri Shri Radha Raman Bihari ISKCON temple in Lucknow. So Lucknow is the nearest city to Naimsharanya. And so this is Shri Shri Radha Raman Bihar at the temple as a Goshala ISKCON Lucknow. And this is spread in the wonderful campus in the Golf Link area of Lucknow amid beautiful gardens. Beautiful is the home of the gorgeous and merciful Shri Shri Radha Raman Bihari. And temple also has a Goshala Govindas and a wedding banquet venue. And lastly, we have Lord Balram, who had the pastime here. He killed Balbal. To satisfy the request for the Brahmins of Naimsharanya, Lord Balram prepared to meet Balbal. So he was an Asura. At the time when the demon usually came there, a storm filled the sky and Balbal began to throw stool and other impure substances on the arena of the sacrifice. Balbal was a gigantic blackish person, and as he approached, flying in the sky, Lord Balram immediately dragged him down with his plow and angrily smashed the demon's head with his club. This is from the Krishna book, chapter 79.
Yeah, we read that already.
That's it.
Okay, so this is the wheel that we were talking. The chakra, yeah, the wheel, same thing. No?
Chakatirth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the wheel that was describing that lake, and this lake is bottomless. Okay, thank you, Chanti, for that. Any more questions? No. Naimi Sharanya ki jai.